How to shred 42 pounds in 90 days, even if you're really busy and feel like you've tried everything before. So as I go through the training, the first thing that I want you guys to do, because I'm just going to outline what's going to happen in the training today. So on this webinar, we're going to learn how to drop 42 pounds or more in 90 days in time for summer. So again, let me know in the comments as well. Do you feel that's a realistic amount? Is that an amount of weight you would like to drop? And would you be super happy if you managed to do that before summer? We're then going to walk into quite a lot of mindset training. Now, it's impossible for me to teach you absolutely everything on this training today, but we have over 300 hours of mindset trainings on things like how to finally crush self-doubt forever, which we're going to go through. The only reason most of you aren't where you are is because of self-doubt and fear. How to never procrastinate again, because realistically nothing is going to change until you change. How to supercharge your energy and regain your confidence, because every single thing in life stems from having confidence. How you operate, how you show up as a parent, a partner, a boss, an employee, or anything in between, all stems from confidence. If you have confidence, you can pretty much achieve everything. And we're going to come on to exactly what confidence is, because it's actually not your relationship with success. It's your relationship with how many times you can handle failure and rejection and keep going. We're going to look at how to supercharge your energy. There will be an exclusive opportunity to work with me, but this isn't one of those pitchy sales webinars, so please don't worry, that's what's going to come up. But we will be looking at a transformation where you have the opportunity to win £1,000 and also take on the infamous SAS selection test, the fan dance, with me and the team. So, questions for you guys, okay? Before we get to the end, don't stress, because everything will be sent out to you. You don't need to make a ton of notes. You're going to get the recording. And as long as you stay on this webinar or you've registered, you're going to get 7 days free access to my private Mindset Mastery membership course. So all those trainings that I just told you about, you will have access to them for 7 days. These include things like 15 ways to win big in 2025, Mastering Fear, the key to unlocking your full potential, the one mindset shift that will make you unstoppable, and how to take control and thrive this year. You're also going to get 30 of my recipe books, including 900 recipes that are already on FitnessPal, a copy of my 2022 Body Transformation Secrets book, and a 20-minute coaching call with me personally, where I will personally calculate your macros. Now, I'm pretty sure if any of you guys are like me, some of you might have to leave at some point to put the kids to bed. Now, if you do, don't worry, okay? Simply head over to Instagram right now or any point on this call, find me, Lee Freeman UK _, and send me a message so that we're in contact with each other, and then I can make sure you personally get all those gifts, even if you can't make it until the end of the training. So, questions for you guys. I want you to post in the chat now one thing. Why are you here? And what do you want to get out of tonight? Is it that you want to improve your confidence? Is it that you want to crush that self-doubt? Is it that you want to learn how to train if you're very limited on time? Is it that you want to understand calories and macros? Let me know why you're here, because when I come back into the chat in a bit, I'm going to then work off what it is you guys want and channel this training as effectively as I can live, specific to you guys that have been good enough to show up tonight and give me your time. And I massively appreciate every single one of you being here. So like I said, also, if you do have private questions, send me a message on Instagram. It's only me. I don't have a Filipino VA who replies to people, and it will be me coming back to you. So feel free to drop in there at any time. Now, the 2 questions that I want you to answer now in the chat, okay, are describe your body in 1 word, and I will open the chat up. Between 1 and 10, how happy are you with your health and confidence? Because those 2 questions are going to be the key to us understanding, 1, where we're at, 2, how it's making us feel, and hopefully giving us the leverage that we need to implement change and move forwards. Now, you're most likely, based on the questionnaires that you guys have already completed, those of you, there's already 18 of you I know that have applied and booked calls, you're either completely out of shape, lost, and you don't even know where to start, which is really normal, by the way, or the big one that I think is almost all of us and was me for many years, so it is you, I get. If it is you, I get it, I've been there. You keep getting started, but then you constantly either hit a plateau, or you get distracted, or you hit a level that you can't get past. Or, this is the big one that we're going to come on to, you fall into the classic mindset of, some of you will cringe when I say this now, I'm just an all or nothing personally. That is the biggest bullcrap approach to life in any area. Because what you're saying is, I'm either all of the time, which is a one-way road to burnout and not feeling like you're good enough, because nobody can be all of the time. This is your classic yo-yo diet. Who gives it everything for 8 weeks and then can't carry on, has a complete meltdown, eats their own body weight in ice cream and pizza and goes back to square one before the pain comes that bad that they then repeat the same process. Sound familiar? Or you're saying I'm a nothing. So you're basically what's called a pathological procrastinator, where you literally do nothing because you're going to do it after Christmas. You're going to do it after your birthday. You're going to do it after the holiday. You're going to do it after the cat's anniversary. You're going to do it after insert absolutely anything in the world that your mind, very often subconsciously, not consciously, can create as a reason for you not doing. Why do we do that? Okay, we do that out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of being mocked, fear of being judged, fear of being laughed at, fear of investing our money and not doing the work. That's the single biggest reason why people don't take action, because deep down they don't think they're going to do the work, so what's the point? That's what we're going to come on to when we talk about self-doubt. So again, let me know which one of those you are in the comments, and then we're going to build this in towards the back end of the training. So you might be wondering why you should listen to me. So if you're a person who is struggling right now with your weight, your mindset, your mental health, or anything in life, the reason why I would say you should listen to me is wherever you've been, I've been there, okay? The picture on the left is me with my mum when I was 6 months old, which was very shortly before she died. The picture on the right next to that is in March 2013, when my entire life had spiraled out of control. I broke my neck playing rugby for Sheffield. Spiraled into the most depressed state of my life. I battled drugs, I battled drink, I battled my mental health, and generally described as what people call hitting rock bottom. So wherever you are on the journey, whether you're thriving but want to take it to the next level, whether you're at absolute rock bottom, then I want you to know I get you, and I've been there, and I understand where you're at. Now, moving on, this is crazy when you think about it. So we're moving on, March 2013, we're moving on a lot of years, aren't we? So I've recovered from those situations, and the key to getting in shape, the key to thriving, the key to living a happy life, the key to confidence, the key to crushing self-doubt, the key to healing, the key to getting that physique. The picture on the left is competing at the British finals, and the picture on the right was a couple of years ago at Lake Buttermere, when me and the whole team went up to do some Wim Hof cold water work and some breath work as well. It had absolutely nothing to do with training and nutrition plans. Now, also, getting to the position where I am in life now hasn't come without a lot of help. It hasn't come without a lot of coaching. In fact, before this call, we actually calculated it, and I've invested over £250,000 in coaching in the last 10 to 15 years. Coaches like Peter Sage on the left-hand side, who I graduated from his Ultimate Self-Mastery course, Kieran from Total Mental Performance next to him, Paul Mort, who I became his Elite X Member of the Year in 2022, and on the right, that's just after completing the Fandance, which is the SAS selection test with Ollie Ollerton. I've also completed 10 marathons in 30 days wearing a 16 kilogram weighted vest. The next picture along is my son, Logan, who's now 6, running out to me as I completed a 200-mile run. The next picture is 101 miles run that I did in a 24-hour period. And the final picture is being in the best shape of my life at 44 years old. So again, if we're going to talk about age as barriers, busyness as barriers, being a mum or a dad, single or co-parenting or married, then we're going to look at why those aren't reasons to achieve what you want. But the biggest thing is you won't do this on your own. Now, going on to the next slide, this is the part where, again, I want to give you guys some confidence that you can do it too. Now, it's not just about me, and this is the last that I'm going to talk about myself on this video call, even though it is my favorite subject. We've helped a lot of people, over 2,000 people in the last 10 years. People like Gary on the left, who's a CEO and director, lost over 42 pounds in 90 days. Russ, next to him, got in the best shape of his life, and he lives in a hotel room from Monday to Friday. Mike, £100. Andy, £100. Simon on the right, our biggest transformation that we've ever done, who went from 33 stone to 15 stone. All shapes and sizes, all of these guys, I'm not going to go through each of them individually, right through to guys like Gareth who have got absolutely shredded. So whatever your goal is, we're going to have you covered. Again, not forgetting the ladies. Danny, Lorraine both went from oversized 18 to size 8. Nikki got in the best shape of her life at 50 years old. And there's a whole array of these. You can see them all on Instagram with the testimonials from the genuine clients. They're all tagged in them. So go and check them out on Instagram and on Facebook. And again, all this is just to give you some confidence that I and the team, we really know what we're talking about. Now, before we get into the coaching, which is actually going to shock you when I tell you very shortly. So stay peeled on and keep your attention high. How did they do it? How did I do it? One, they stopped procrastinating. They took action. Nothing is going to change until you change. There's two types of procrastinators in this world. There's a pathological procrastinator and there's a circumstantial procrastinator. You're not a pathological procrastinator because you wouldn't be on this call. They are the guys who are still sat on the couch thinking that maybe someone's going to float along on a canoe one day and just rescue them and change their lives. That's never going to happen. Now, circumstantial procrastinators are people who procrastinate because they think they can't do it because they're too old, because they can't do it because they don't have time. They think they can't do it because they're afraid of failure, which we're going to come on to. Now, the second way they did it was mindset coaching, belief shifts, identity change, clear measurable goals. This is what we're going to come on to in the next slide, because you might be very shocked to hear that in this webinar, even though it's entitled How to Lose 42 Pounds in 90 Days or Less, I'm going to teach you absolutely sweet FA about training or nutrition. However, each of those clients did have a bespoke training and nutrition plan built around their goals, their life and their career. We do not do any set plans. Every person has a one-to-one coach that they work with, so the plan is perfect for them. We fit a plan to your life, not your life or you to our plan. They had insane levels of accountability. Now, one thing that I'll come on to at the end that you guys won't realize, you will absolutely find nowhere in the world to click a link and work with us. Why? Does anyone know why? Let me in the comments. Why would that possibly be? Why can't you just click right now, sign up, work with us and get results? Why is it that we have over 2,000 published results? The reason is because we don't just work with anyone. We don't need more clients. We need more success stories. And every single person has to do a qualification call, which I'll come on to, in order to work with us to make sure, one, that you're coachable, two, that you're a good fit, and three, that we believe we can get results with you. Because if we won't offer you a place. If we believe all of those things, one, you're coachable, two, you're going to do the work, and three, we believe you can get results, then there will be an opportunity to partner with us. An inspiring community and peer group, Proximity is power and environment trumps will. That's also that we're going to come on to, that you will be the sum of the people that you spend time around with. If you think you can do it on your own, trust me, you're wrong. That's why I had all those coaches. That's why I pay multiple thousands of pounds every month to be around the right people. People who want to see me win, people who lift me up, people who coach me, people who know what I don't. You'll very often have heard the phrase, we need to find the who, not the how. So the person who can help us, not always just looking for the way, because if we don't know how ourselves, that's when we get stuck. Now, as I said, the reason why I'm not going to teach you anything about nutrition or training on this call, even though you can book a call with me and I will calculate your calories and macros for you, that's part of the service that's free, which we've discussed tonight. Write this down, okay? You don't have an information problem, you have an implementation problem. You lose 42 pounds in 90 days by relentlessly implementing, not by getting new information. You can't take the old you into a new plan and expect a new results. Again, go in the comments now, because I'm going to go back on them when we move on. How many nutrition plans have you had in the past? How many training plans have you had in the past? How many things have you signed up to? There were some business people in here as well. How many get-rich-quick business schemes have you signed up to? How many six-figure funnel schemes have you signed up to? They can't all be bad. They can't all have been wrong. And this is the figure that's going to shock you into the middle of next week. The coaching industry worldwide is valued at £22 billion per year. 22 billion. 75% of those plans never make it out of the email inbox or off of the desktop because they're too overwhelming. Because it's just information. People ask me all the time, can you send me some information on the phone? What information would you need in order for it to be a great decision? They don't even know what information they're asking for, yet they're asking for more information. This is the same with relationships, right? This is why I'm going off on a tangent now. You'll get used to this. This is why so many intimate relationships fail. Because the person gets a big bin bag and they gather up all the stuff from the past, all the information, all the trauma, all the past experiences, and they put it all in a big bag and they chuck it over their shoulder and then they carry it into the new thing. They're trying to take the old them into a new relationship and then they wonder why they get the same outcome. It's the same with coaching. It's the same with fat loss. It's the same with business success. It's the same with mindset. It's the same with everything that we do with people to help them achieve their dreams. You cannot take the old you into a new plan and expect a different results, which is why we need to work on overcoming fear and procrastination, belief shifts, identity change. If we don't do these things first, you are, every single time you go into any form of coaching plan, I promise you on my little boy's life, if you've already tried and failed 1, 2, or 3 times, the only thing that you are going to do when you look for the cringe next best diet plan is waste new money on old results and destroy your confidence again. So we're going to head into these coaching periods now. Now, overcoming fear and procrastination. Now, I'm just going to click off this screen so I can see you guys and we can have a bit more engagement. Let's just see if we can technically do this and stop some shares. There you go. You guys are here. I feel more confident now. So, who knows what fear is? Let me know in the comments. Let's get some energy up and let's have some engagement. What's your number one fear? And do you know what fear is? I'll give you a clue. We're only born with 2 fears, falling and loud noises. That's it. Everything else is created. You're not afraid of anything. It isn't fear why you're procrastinating, because fear is 2 things. There's a real chance of either death or serious injury. Some cars about to fly down the other way of the motorway towards you and go head on into your car. That's fear. I'm about to run up to you and give you my best ever right hook with every piece of energy I've got behind it. That's fear. Everything else is just avoidance of discomfort. But here's the deal, you're in pain anyway. If you're not where you want to be with your physique, your relationships and your life, you're already in pain. You're already in discomfort. Yet you're avoiding discomfort to stay stuck. Does that make sense? So we have two options. It's uncomfortable exercising more and going to the gym. It's also uncomfortable not being able to walk up the stairs without your legs chafing together and getting out of breath. Both options are uncomfortable, right? It's not fear. You're not afraid of failure. You're not really afraid of being mocked, judged, or laughed at. These are all tricks the mind tells us in order for us to avoid taking action. But when we don't, we're going to stay uncomfortable anyway. And this is the principle of change, right? We have to understand nothing changes unless you change. Same for me all those years ago. In order for your life to change, you have to change. That isn't buying a new plan. That isn't the next best diet plan. That isn't the next best training plan. Like, people laugh when I say this, right? I'd imagine a lot of you guys on here tonight are quite tech savvy. Go on to ChatGPT, go on to Google, go on to AI and say, can you please write me a training plan for a woman who is describe yourself, or man? Can you write me a diet plan for a man or a woman who is describe yourself? And it will almost certainly spit you back a perfect plan. Where will that plan end? Same place where most of the $22 billion goes. On a desktop, unopened, unused. So we have to think about behavioral change, okay? And this comes from your thoughts. This comes from your beliefs. Drop me a yes or put your hand up if you've got a belief that you don't really think you can get your dream body. If you've had a belief that you can't lose weight. If you've had a belief that nothing ever works for you. If you've had a belief that it's impossible to get X, Y, and Z. That belief just came from a thought. This is how the brain works, right? Everything comes from a thought. Say I want to have a sip of this Monster. What happened? I just had a thought. I want to have a sip of that Monster. So I acted on it. Everything comes from a thoughts, right? Thoughts become repetitive. Repetitive thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs lead to how we behave, and how we behave leads to who we become, or the outcome, or our personal reality. So if you have a belief that you don't really think you can lose weight, and it's not about all this wishy-washy fucking bullshit, there we go, there's the first F-bomb, about believe it and you can achieve it, see it and you can achieve it. Self-belief is everything. Yes, it's important, but if you don't take action, it's absolutely sweet FA. You're not going to sit there manifesting money into your life, manifesting your dream partner, manifesting your dream body. It comes from taking action, and taking action comes from beliefs, and beliefs comes from thoughts. So if you have a thought that I can't lose weight, guess what you believe? You believe that you can't lose weight. Guess how you behave? Well, you never go to the gym or sort your diet out because you don't believe you can lose weight in the first place. So what's the point? That leads to who you become. Overweight, overwhelmed, stressed, health issues and everything in between. So we have to go right back to the beginning. We have to learn how to change our thoughts. We have to learn how to create repetitive thoughts that create new beliefs that lead to new behaviors, that lead to new outcomes. And this visualization stuff and these 300 hours of work that we do within the program, it's not about brainwashing. It's about reprogramming from a neuroplasticity level. Because if we don't believe it, it's not the whole visualization thing. It's that you're never inspired to take action for long enough to do the work to get the results. This is why so many people go wrong. Many of you have been brainwashed as well by absolute shit show shocking plans like Weight Watchers, Slimming World, Slimming Pills, Juice Plus, Herbalife, all the other absolute shite on the market that preys on naive people like you, because it convinces you, one, you can get something without doing the work. Anyone with a brain will tell you that's not reality. Or it also convinces you that it should happen every week. Hands up if you weigh yourself every Sunday, or have done in the past. Hands up if you feel an extreme amount of disappointment when all of a sudden, after going to the gym and eating healthy for 7 days, you haven't lost 7 pounds. So you throw the toys out of the pram, and then you go and eat some pizza, because what's the fucking point? Nothing ever works for you anyway. There it is. Thoughts, beliefs, actions, behave. Over and over and over again. Fitness and fat loss isn't like a cash in hand job. You don't work for a week and then get paid at the end of the week. But if we've got these deep rooted beliefs and behavioral issues when we don't believe we can get the thing that we want, well, why are we going to go to the gym next week? And the scales are the worst possible measurement of progress, by the way. I don't need to tell you what any of those people weigh on the screen, do I? You saw their transformations. They're massive. We want to look and feel good, not weigh good. So if we break that down and start to think about it, that's why we give up. That's why we quit. Think of it this way. This is why Slimming World and Weight Watchers need putting into the Grand Canyon with a load of dynamite and just exploding, including all the reps and people that work for them. Because it teaches someone to value themselves every week on a number that they weigh, which they're not in control of. Quickest way to be unhappy, try and control the uncontrollables. Control the work, control the behavioural change, control the commitment. Focus on the process, not the prize. Focus on the journey, not the outcome. Or the journey, not the destination. Because guess what? If you went to work every week for 3 weeks and then you didn't get paid, eventually what would you do? Well, you'd stop showing up, wouldn't you? You're not going to keep going and doing a job where you don't get paid. Whereas if you're using that as the only thing as to whether it's the same as business owners do this. Your net worth is not your self-worth. And your weekly weigh-in certainly isn't your self-worth. So we need to look at the behavioural change and the reprogramming, because every single one of you can achieve everything that you want. But in reality, if nothing changes and you keep taking the new you, the old you, into a new plan, then nothing's ever going to change at all. Let me know if this is making sense. And we'll go back to the slides. So next, we're going to look at the power of accountability. So as I discussed, once we've done that behavioural change, once we've looked at changing the habits, the next thing we need is the power of accountability, because this is the other thing that most people do. And I think you guys will love this analogy. So we decide that we're going to get started, and that's what's called being in, well, I call it uninformed optimism. This is what you guys will have done so often in the past. It's the New Year's resolutioners. Motivation is high, right? That's it. You've signed up to your new plan. It's the 1st of January. Some of you will actually probably be listening now and thinking, oh my God, this is me this year already. And you get the new trainers and you get the new leggings and you get the new vest. You join the new gym, you and your pal decide you're going to train together. Motivation's high, okay? We've created the goal, we've created the destination. And then all of a sudden, 2, 3, 4 weeks in, oh God, I'm going to have to say no to that social occasion. Oh, I'm going to have to actually go to the gym and work hard. Oh God, this is tougher than I thought it's going to be. Oh God, it's raining. It's dark. I can't be arsed. I'm tired. The kids are ill. I've got a cold. And then we move into what's called informed pessimism. This is the emotional cycle of change, by the way, this is going to be harder than I thought. I'm going to have to do this for more than 4 weeks, and I'm not going to lose weight every single week. And then we go into what's called the pit or the despair, and we quit for a bit, or we get distracted until the pain gets that bad again. And then we go back and we repeat that cycle over and over and over again. There's certain people watching this that have been on my plan multiple times and done this, because we've spoken about it. And this is why the power of accountability is more important than the plan. Nutrition and training plans are fairly simple, guys. Unless you're like when I'm prepping a bikini model to step on stage or a bodybuilder. Yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot more specificity. There's a lot more knowledge. There's a lot more work. But for your general person who wants to lose 42 pounds in 90 days, the training and the nutrition plan isn't the most important thing, although it does have to work for you. It's part of the cogs. But the power of accountability is absolutely more important than any of those things, because we all need it. Like people will look at me now and I tell them I've got a coach and they're like, "You've got a coach? What do you need a coach for?" Accountability. Same reason I need my community and my environment and my peer group, because that's what it is. The two things. One of the accountability is someone else making sure you do what you said you would. So when you have a check-in every week, which we do, when you have to update your photos every week, when you have one of the team chasing you to make sure that you have done the work, that you are okay, that you are supported, and you've got nowhere to hide, all of a sudden, when you've got that an elite level of accountability in any area of life, everything becomes a lot easier. Even with my business coach, I have to submit figures each week. And with my training coach, I've got nowhere to hide. If things drop off or I start struggling, then the coach needs to come in and do the help and the support. So the power of accountability is more important than any of those. And I'm going to create an analogy here, because this is what most people do. Now, some of you might not even know exactly what your goal is at this stage. Well, that's the critical first mistake, because you can't hit a target that you can't see. You can't drive to a destination that doesn't exist. And if you're unhappy, then that's what we need to create first. And this is the best analogy I've ever heard that I hope it will stick with you. Whether it's your weight, your body, your life, your relationship, your career, we work on all of those with clients, because I believe they all have to be happy. It's no good having an absolutely banging body if you're in a toxic relationship. It's no point having the best career in the world if you're that fat you can't walk up the stairs with getting out of breath and you dread social occasions. And it's no good, an amazing relationship probably isn't going to exist if you're really unhealthy and the other parts of the cogs aren't all working. So that's why we work on all of them together. But when you say to a lot of people, what is it you want to achieve? How do you want your life to look? They don't actually know. And that's what we have to create first. And we have to get specific on it. Because otherwise, this is the analogy, it's like calling an Uber driver to your house. And when the driver says, "Hey Jane, where do you want to go?" "I don't know, but not here. I hate here. I'm not happy here. I'm uncomfortable here. I'm miserable here." "Well, how do you want to feel?" "I don't know. I just, not this, not here." We have to know where we want to go. And the analogy that I use when we coach people for 90 days is that's putting the destination in the sat-nav. What does a sat-nav then do? It then creates a plan all the way back from where you are now to get to where you are. Perfect roadmap. That's the nutrition plan. That's the training plan. That's the mindset plan. However, then what most people do, because they don't have the accountability, is they've done all that work, they've created the plan, they've created the destination, they've got the plan, and then they just switch the sat-nav off, they start driving and they wonder why they're lost. Of course you're going to be lost, because you didn't have the power of accountability to keep you on track. And that's what a good coach should do. Checking in every week. Am I doing what I said I would? Daily accountability. Have I done my training? Have I done my nutrition? Accountability is the glue that sticks everything else ever to get results. And most of us, without that, will just drift off after a few days. And that's really normal. Now, the next thing is the power of an inspiring community and the power of peer group. Tony Robbins' famous quote, proximity is power and environment trumps will. So if you're not surrounded by the right people, by people who want to see you win, by people who support you, people who want to pull you up, not pull you down, then you're going to find it very, very difficult. And this isn't your fault for a lot of you, because you might have had your friendship groups or circles since as long as you can remember being alive. The people that keep you stuck, the people that tell you that you're okay, the people that bully you into going to the pub every weekend, the people that generally want to keep you on their level, the people that actually pull you down when you start making progress or you start taking positive action, people who say things like, what are you doing that for? You're fine as you are. There is nothing more powerful than a community, an environment that, one, inspires you to be better, and two, holds you accountable. That's what a peer group is, right? You probably won't have heard it talked about in this manner. But a peer group is a group of people that you continually raise your standards to remain part of. My peer group is huge. They're all more intelligent than me. They're all more successful than me. Most of them are in better shape than me. They inspire me. Their energy is electric and I cannot wait to get around them. And they also call me out on my own bullshit if I'm not doing the work. Now, here's again where it goes wrong. It also works the other way. So most people will often want to stop raising their standards to remain part of the peer group. So they'll go back to their old shitty peer group that doesn't call them out on their own bullshit because it's easier and there's less discomfort until the pain gets that bad again that we then have to try and find a new peer group. And thus the cycle repeats time and time and time again. But you guys will have heard this so many times, right? You are the sum of the people you spend the most amount of time with. And me and all the team do a training every Monday morning at 8 o'clock, and we discussed this massively this weekend. Like, misery loves company. But moaning, blaming and complaining achieves absolutely nothing apart from creating your own misery. And it's completely wasted energy. Whereas when you get around the right people, it actually generates energy. You guys will have experienced this. You walk into a room sometimes and it's just vibing and it's loud and it's smiling and it's happy and you're like, yeah, I want to go around this. And you can go into other rooms and it's like, a pin's dropped as soon as you walk in and it's edgy and it's miserable and it's grumpy. You will become the sum of the people you spend the most amount of time with. Now, this can be really confusing in terms of communities and environments, because if it's your partner who's a negative Nancy, or your mum or your dad, husband, wife, brother, sister, you're probably not going to be able to get rid of them, so to speak. But you can choose to spend less time around them to protect your energy. Like, I have very negative friends. They're still my friends. I still love them, but I will not spend time around them, especially not if my energy's low. And this is how your life changes when you get around the right people, and why it's so important, because you start to attract better people. Successful people don't want to be around fucking losers. They can't be arsed with them. They don't want to be around the negative energy. So they actually make an effort not to be around them. They want to be around other successful people. It's so important, this, and you'll see it more and more in life now. Like I said, misery loves company. But again, you have to become the energy that you want to attract. If you want a disciplined, committed, thriving, positive, compelling, exciting life, then you want to be around compelling, positive, thriving, exciting people who want to see you win. And that's one of the most overlooked parts of getting results. So I would advise you, if you're not where you want to be and you're struggling, have a look at your environment and have a look at who you're spending time with. Now, before we come on to the question that's on the screen, I'm going to come back out and I'm just going to ask you guys for some insights. So, New Year's resolutions are trash. I always weigh myself. Yeah, it's really normal. Everyone does, but it's the quickest way to make yourself feel unhappy, Sam, because you're not in control of it. Think of your hydration, think of your hormones, think of your glycogen stores. Like, even if you have a meal, right? This shaker, this is how, I'm going to tell you a little insight. This is how those shitty quick fix plans works before we come on to the trading on crushing self-doubt. Okay? If I pop this on the scales and it's full of water, it weighs quite a lot. Okay? If I go and then tip all the water out, which is a low carbohydrate plan for a week, guess what? I put that back on the scales and it probably weighs, a human would probably weigh 7 pounds lighter. Structure's not changed, haven't lost any body fat, miserable, starving, destroyed the metabolism, probably going to kick in thyroid problems at some point. And then they do it again and like, yeah, I've lost 7 pounds. Yeah, I've lost, this is when you see all your Sharons and Karens. Sure, if there's anyone called Sharon and Karen, but when they do their Cleanse 9 or their Juice Plus or their Herbalife, and then they're selling it to everyone, and now they're doing skinny jabs or fat dissolving whatevers and everything in between. You never see them past week 2 or 3. Oh yeah, I lost 7 pounds last week. Oh, I lost 14 pounds lost 14 pounds in the second week. Week 3, they're back down the pub eating McDonald's. Because it's not maintainable. Again, low carbohydrate diets for short periods, they do have their place. But it's not something you're going to do forever. So again, sometimes the weight loss that you think that you've got in the past wasn't even weight loss. Anything more than 1 or 2 pounds per week isn't body fat. It's stored glycogen. So again, you know, if you're weighing yourself all the time, Sam, you could, like, this is a very crude analogy, but you could have just had a large meal that your body's storing, like the water in the cup, not been to the toilet. It could be a certain time around your cycle, and you could gain 2 or 3 pounds on a Sunday. Yet the entire week, you've nailed it. You went to the gym 5 times, you tracked your food, everything was perfect, and all those things that you did great, you just eradicated them because of what that number said. So we can't allow that to happen. Now, when we talk about crushing self-doubt, it's very often because we've become frustrated. And the reason why we usually become frustrated, and I think everyone is going to associate or connect with this, being able to delay the instant need for gratification. Every single one of us do the same. We train for a week, we want to see a result on the scales. We work hard for our business in the week, we expect profits to go up. Anything that we put effort into, we want a quick win. That's how the mind's built. And the worst thing is, there's things everywhere convincing ourselves that we can do things quickly. Straight up lies, whether it's in body, whether it's in business, whether it's in fat loss. And then we become frustrated that we don't get what we want, and then we quit, and then we restart. And that's the cycle that we're stuck in, that I was talking about at the start. Now, success isn't down to a lack of opportunity. The fact that anyone in the world has achieved anything that you want is real proof that it's available. Age isn't a barrier. Time isn't a barrier. Location isn't a barrier. None of those things are barriers. Yet, it's literally what everybody moans about. I don't have time. I've tried everything before, nothing ever worked for me. I'm too busy. I'm not in the right headspace now. I'll start after X. I'm afraid of failure. I don't have the confidence. I don't believe in myself. I don't have the motivation. All lies. Okay? Because everything that you want is out there and is available at any age. I always go back to the story about Colonel Sanders and KFC. Flat broke at 69 years old. I know guys who've worked with us who have been 5 stone overweight at 50 years old and got in the best shape of their life at 55. You guys will remember Robin. His words, not mine, but he went from 22 stone fat mess to lean, mean fighting machine. It's a guy in his 50s with autism. Lost 7 stone, built muscle. Age isn't a problem. Time isn't a problem. Location isn't a problem. Information, as I said, certainly isn't a problem. What's a problem is implementation and support and understanding the behavioural change. Opportunity and time and age is never an excuse. Okay? Now, so if we look at where do we start? As I said, well, the first thing we need to do is we need to get clear on what we want. Again, so many people are, as I said with the information, we're signing up to plans and we don't even know what it is we want. We're moving towards a target that we don't even know what it is. So of course we're going to have self-doubt. But the big thing that I want to come on to, guys, here is some of this might have seemed like quite a big attack on people, places, situations, plans, and all of these things. But any of these behavioural habits, right, that you have, any of these beliefs around fear, around self-doubt, around confidence, around results, they're not your fault. Because you've probably been running those patterns your entire life. Which is why, until we change the behavioural patterns, the plan is unimportant. And that's how we drop 42 pounds or more in 90 days. We change how we think. We change what we believe. We change the behavioural patterns that we run. We change our environment. We have accountability. That is the key to achieving results, not the plan. And most of the things that you've been running, you've probably been running since you were 7 years old. It's one of the most famous phrases ever. Show me a boy at a 7 and I'll show you the man. Because it's been programmed into you your entire life. Anything from phrases you hear like, everyone in our family's always been big, no one in our family's intelligent, no one went to university, you'll never amount to anything. This is a great one that I heard the other day. Good things don't happen to people like us. That's not true. People say, again, the opposite one. Why do bad things happen to good people? They don't. Bad things just happen to good people and bad people. These are all beliefs, they're all thoughts, and they're all self-limiting. But you will never be able to rise above your beliefs. And that's what needs to be changed, because as I said, thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs lead to how we behave. How we behave creates our habits. Our habits lead to our actions and behaviours. And that's what leads to the life that we live. So how we achieve the results we want is we change our environment. We change our thoughts, we change our beliefs, and then we have a side order of support and accountability and environment. No problem, Ben. Yeah, drop me a message. So it starts with being around people that want to pull you up. That's why we have such a strong community. It's not just me, it's a team of coaches, and it's over 100 clients that all support each other. It's so important, because you can either be around people that want to pull you up and see you win, or people that want to pull you down and keep you stuck. But trust me, if you hang around with 9 losers, you'll become the 10th. If you hang around with 9 winners, you'll become the 10th. So this is what I want to leave you with, because some of you will be thinking now, right? How can I change this right now? Well, number one is you have to change what you're putting in your mind. You're totally focused on what you're putting in your body. That's why people always ask, what's the amount of times I've been asked these questions? Hey bro, what's the best way to build big arms? Hey bro, what's the best new diet plan? What's the best foods to eat? How much protein do I need? Again, all important and all have their place. But it's what goes in here that's most important. It's Henry Ford's most famous quote. Either you think you can or you think you can't. Either way, you're right. If you don't think you can achieve the thing that you want, you will never be inspired enough for long enough to take action towards it to get the results that you want. Again, that's why accountability comes in. So when you want to quit, someone says, no, you're not fucking quitting, Jay. Now, this comes from us controlling. That's one of the only things we can control. We can control who we listen to. We can control who we spend time around. We can control what we read. And we can start to reprogram our mind to put the right things in. Every single one of my clients who's achieved those results will ultimately state that it began with the mindset training. Yes, the nutrition was important. Yes, the training was important. Yes. Why do you think part of this webinar offer is that every single one of you can message me on Instagram and I will perfectly create your calories and macros for you based on your goals? Would I give that away if that was the ultimate key to results? No, I'd guard it like a secret, wouldn't I? You can do that on fucking Google, by the way. It's because it's not the key to results. So the two things that we can control are people and the media. How many times have you heard this? I'm coming off Facebook. It's full of negative people. No, it's not. My Facebook's absolute fucking fire. And my Instagram. It's who you're choosing to spend time around, virtually and in the real world. Who you're choosing to listen to. Who you're choosing to take advice from. Again, I always laugh when people say this, but so many people through the program have started their own business. They were employed. Luke Birch now has 3 businesses, I believe. And he's lost 7 stone. When he started, he had a dead-end job. Multiple other people have done that within the program. But they all said, wow, I've asked my dad what he thinks, and he doesn't think it's a good idea. He thinks it's risky. So, probably been told, Stephen, drop me an email, lee@freemanfitness.co.uk. lee@freemanfitness.co.uk. The email that you got all the stuff for this from, that's my email. There's only me. So, what's your dad done, Luke? Oh, he's a postman. No, I'm talking about a fictitious person now. Luke's dad's not a postman. But why would you then ask, if your parents have been employed their entire life, why would you ask them for advice on starting a business? It's crazy, isn't it, right? People take fat loss advice off people that are fucking fat. That's probably one of the craziest ones. They talk about mental health with people that are depressed. They ask for relationship advice from someone who's got 3 or 4 failed marriages. Like, we have to think about what their beliefs are then pushed onto us. Your beliefs probably aren't even your beliefs. They're your mum and dad's beliefs. And then your ex-partner's beliefs. And then your teacher's beliefs. So how do we change this? We change this by controlling what we focus on. That's it. Stop focusing on what's going on in the world and start focusing on what's going on in your world. Start focusing on who you spend time around. Love your family, choose your peer group. Focus on your life, not other people's lives. Stop starting a plan and then saying, oh, well, I don't look like a fitness model after 3 weeks. Well, Karen's just posted she's lost £3 in 10 weeks on this new plan. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this one and do that plan. Shiny object syndrome. Trust me, I'm ADHD level 10,000. I get what it is, the impulsivity. Hence 250 grand on Business Mentors. Half of them were good, half of them were shy. I just got distracted by the shy ones telling me that I was going to become a millionaire without doing any work in less than 3 weeks. Same as the things you guys are getting hit with. Okay? Have the right people in, get the right people out. But master your thoughts. You have to master your thoughts. You have to master your focus. You have to master your environment. And you have to master yourself. And all that comes from behavioural change. Like, you have to be realistic about this. You've tried the plans, right? You've had nutrition plans. You've had training plans. We have to do the deep work and work on ourselves to change our thoughts, to change our beliefs, to change how we behave. Because how we behave leads to how we become. Guys, I'm going to open up for any questions. Let's go back to the slides. Because if you would like my help, and my team's help, and my community's help, and the peer group dropping £42 before summer, then all you have to do is drop me a message on Instagram or email me to book a call in right now, lee@freemanfitness.co.uk. Now, as I said, you guys might think this is really strange. You were probably expecting to get hit with some big sales pitch at the end of this webinar, especially if you've been one. I'll just leave that there for 1 minute so you guys can write it down until I go back on screen so I can answer any questions. But the reality is you can't just join. And that's the exact reality why Instagram, Lee Freeman UK _ or email lee@freemanfitness.co.uk. That's the exact reason why we have all those results that you saw on the screen before. Because again, we make sure the right people are coming on board. We don't just work with anyone. So if you're not serious about committing, if you're not serious about putting the work in, if you're not serious about being disciplined and consistent, and you're not coachable, and you're going to have a meltdown after 1 week when you haven't lost £7, then this isn't the right coaching plan for you. And that's why you can't just join, because we don't need more success stories. We do need more success stories. We don't need more clients. We need more success stories. And we want results. So if you're serious about results, then great. But if you're not, then it's not a good fit. Because you have to do the work. And I know what I'm saying now is not what you guys want to hear. It's probably not what you were hoping to hear. You were probably hoping for some miracle pill or cream or shake that magically allows you to lose £42 in 90 days. That's very achievable. And I'll go as far as to say anyone who, we did this as a deal, anyone who needs to lose £42 in 90 days, does the work and doesn't, then I would offer them their money back, because it's absolutely achievable. I have no self-doubt in that whatsoever. But you have to do the work and you have to be consistent. Now, in regards to your own goals, your own future, that's what I would ask you to get clear on now. And so many times I spoke to you guys in the past, at the beginning of this webinar, about the dark days, the fat days, the depressed days. And so many times people have asked, how did you go from there to where you are now? And the answers were simple. One is a lot of help and support and coaching. But number two was I created a clear vision of where I wanted to go. And if you don't have that, then nobody can help you achieve it. You need to know what you want and you need to want it. I'm very open about this again with people. If I want it more for you than you want it for yourself, then there's no point us working together. I would literally be wasting my time. You need to know what you want, why you want it, and be willing to work towards it. And when you can tick all those boxes, then the results happen every time. But you have to know what you want, because if not, it's like trying to hit a target that you can't see. And the reason how I overcame all of those problems was I simply created a vision of a life that I wanted to work towards, and created a life that I didn't need to escape from. That's it. And then created the behavioural change in the habits and the peer group and the community to make sure that all of those things aligned. And then I eventually learned to delay the instant need for gratification. Guys, questions. In fact, what I'll do, guys, is I'll stop record, because some of you might not want the questions to be on the recording, and I'll open up for any questions.